About 30 minutes south of Raleigh, North Carolina is what is arguably one of the most famous mail order nurseries in the country. And I have the good fortune of being at Plant Delights Nursery today, and the even better fortune of being at Plant Delights with the founder, Tony Avent. What I would love to know is how this dream started.
Wow, you know, with all things, it's sort of a circuitous path. When I was a young child, I started buying plants mail order when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So the idea of being able to order all these rare plants, even if they weren't available in your area, was fascinating to me. And so after college, I got the idea I wanted to start a nursery, realized I knew nothing about running a nursery, so I went to work for the state for 16 years and learned there, you know, how to do electrical, mechanical, carpentry, plumbing, all the things that you have to know to run a nursery.
Sure.
And sort of got this started on the side, and it's been an interesting adventure. The nursery and gardens were started in 1986, and I kept working for the state for another 8 years, but we began slowly developing really the gardens and the nursery at the same time, because our model, we wanted to figure out how to have the plants, not just sell them, but have them and grow them where we could learn as well. So we came up with an idea of 15% of everything sold went to fund the gardens, and our plant exploration, which started right as I left the state. And so plants are propagated from the gardens once we trial them for the nursery, and then the nursery sends money back to run the gardens.
You just mentioned, you know, some of the traveling that you've done, and you have done a lot of plant exploration all over the world. Any place that you love the most or that really sticks out as an adventure?
Wow, all of them are an adventure, whether it's here in our backyards or anywhere in the world. We've done 100 trips around the world.
Wow.
A lot of those are in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, every one, you have different adventures. You meet all kinds of interesting people. You have dangers. Probably the most dangerous trip, and I've had several, was when I had a very long gun pulled on me down in Texas.
Yeah. And while you're traveling the world, you are collecting plants. You are collecting plants and seeds. And you're bringing them back to North Carolina to trial them here, as you mentioned, and see what their performance is in this climate and whether they're a good plant for, you know, this country, this region, this, you know, or anywhere, really.
Yeah, we started out really with the idea of let's just accumulate a collection of cool plants. Then when you start going in the wild, you realize that plants are going extinct at an alarming rate. The latest numbers by the people who know these things, 36.5% of the world's plants are endangered or threatened.
Wow.
That is incredible.
More than a third.
More than a third of the plants in the world are endangered or threatened. So we switched our gears to become more of an ex situ conservation garden.
Right.
We really, having seen plants going extinct in the wild, so when we go, you don't leave any footprint that you were there. You take seed, you take cuttings, you take a division. If there's one plant, you leave it alone. You've got to respect nature, and hopefully that plant will survive. Now, if it's something that's variegated in the middle of a population of non-variegated ones, that one's going to be selected against. So yes, you grab that and you bring that back.
Sure.
But it really has evolved into, let's get the plants back, let's preserve them. But for us, preserving is not the end point. I know so many ex situ conservation gardens, which means preserving off-site.
Off-site, right.
Are more like museums, and they're actually hoarding opportunities. These people come up with all kinds of legal agreements that they can't share plants. We're the opposite, and that came from both my upbringing from the late J.C. Ralston. It was all about sharing. So for us, when we bring in a plant, especially a rare one, we study it, we document it, we photograph it, we take notes, then we propagate it and share it, because the worst thing that can happen to a rare plant is one person has it.
Exactly.
or it's
Because
not shared.
If that one person loses it,
It's
is
gone. It's gone. We've got one trillium here in the garden that there is one site on a nuclear plant. The only place it exists. The wild hogs have devastated the populations. We have the only one off-site that exists. Those hogs could destroy the plant tomorrow. It has not even been named yet.
Right.
That is imperative that we keep these things preserve that and spread it around.
Right. When I came the first time, it was just this garden that we're sitting in. And, several greenhouses, but it was a much smaller operation than it is today. So tell us a little bit about the growth of the nursery and, the gardens and how you've expanded.
Well, we started out with just 2 acres, and we had a house there that my late wife and I lived in. And after about 9 years, our next door neighbor was getting a divorce and called us up and said, I'm leaving. And we're like, we're over on the way with a checkbook. And so it was, all right, that took us to 7 acres. And then after that, it was slowly one neighbor at a time. We'd scare them away. So we picked up another 11 acres here and another 4 acres here and another 6 acres here. And we're now up to 28 acres.
Right.
And so now we're beginning to look at what happens in the future, because 38 years later, I'm a lot older. I'm officially old according to the government now. So we have to look at what's going to happen to all the plants we preserve.
Right.
So several years ago, we gifted the entire property to North Carolina State University. We said, all right, because we've always felt that we were sister to the J.C. Ralston Arboretum, because J.C. and I came to NC State the same year.
Right.
And the missions of the Ralston Arboretum are the same: collect, study, propagate, and share. And so the university said we'd be delighted to hold the gardens, but we have no money. So we're going to set you up this endowment fund, and we're going to give you a hat that says fundraiser. And your job is to convince people to put money in there, and we create an operational endowment so that when something happens to me, the university will take over, and they will have the funds, because the way we work, it takes more hours than a sane person would want to spend.
Right.
So we have to have something sustainable
and
to
I think
preserve.
That's true for all of us who are in the horticulture world. We do it because we're passionate about it and because we love it. And yes, there are people who have been very successful and who live good lives, and lots of them, and that's great. But we do it, I think, because we're of the passion for it. So you've expanded now into 28 acres. How many greenhouses are on site today?
30 greenhouses on site.
Yeah. And you're shipping plants certainly all over the United States and lots of other parts of the world?
We are. I think last year we shipped to 41 countries. So if your country, as long as it's not at war with the U.S. or pissed them off in some other way, we can ship. We had a customer right this spring from Ukraine, wanted to know where their order was. They really needed the plants. That speaks volumes to how important plants are to the humankind. That here you are in a country that's getting bombed and it's just being destroyed, and they're worried about their plants.
Right.
It's pretty incredible. So literally, some of our biggest countries are places like Japan, Thailand. So all of these countries have incredible plant collectors now, and because now of social media, we can connect with those. Years ago, you had to write these long letters. It may take a month to get there and a month to get back. Now you just get on Facebook or whatever and send a message, and you've immediately got an answer, and you've got a new friend that you've met.
Right.
And so people talk about the bad parts of social media and the bad parts of the internet. It's incredible what it's done to connect people to plants.
You know, doing these tours that I do all around the world, I've made so many connections, through my years in the horticulture industry for one thing, but then, you can just, like you said, zip a message off to somebody and say, hey, you know, do you know any gardens that we can come see in your area? Or do you have any seeds you'd like to trade? Or, you know, just depending on which end of the business you're in, I agree. You know, we all have this kind of love-hate relationship with social media, but for me, it's opened so many, you know, windows and doors and other things that I think it's kind of a great thing.
It has.
So,
we start groups, Facebook groups for specialty plants,
yeah.
and we had, one guy had posted a fern a few years ago, and that we had not grown, and we emailed him. It's like, do you ever have any spores? And it turns out he's a retired professor in Siberia.
Wow.
And he goes plant collecting all over Russia, surrounding territories. And so we were able to get spores sent, and the plants are growing beautifully here. That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. It really is. What does the future look like for here? More expansion? Are you kind of to your limit?
Well, expansion's always lovely because you got more plants that you need room for, but we don't expand until we're able to maintain the gardens. I think so many gardens I've seen get into expansion, but they don't think about maintaining. And maintaining is the most important part of any garden. I see people collect but can't maintain the collections, and they kill the plants. Well, that's sort of self-defeating. So we're not currently expanding until we have more financial base. So as the endowment grows, that would allow us to then expand if we get it to a certain point.
The most important thing you want to do is be able to maintain what you have.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter whether you're Plant Delights and Juniper Level or whether you're me at, you know, my personal garden. It's a hard call to say, I can't maintain anymore, but
Yeah.
this is the limit. So
Yeah, as a collector, we want everything that we haven't grown. That's just what collector mentality does, and that's
exactly right.
who we appeal to. So yeah, it's really hard when you have that wiring, that sort of obsessive compulsiveness about, I haven't grown this looks cool, this will grow, and then how do we take care of that? And
Sure.
we've been very blessed. We've got an incredible staff of incredibly gifted, knowledgeable people that are able to maintain the things at a very high level, and that's what we don't want to lose. So love to expand, but got to be financially feasible.
Yeah, we've known each other for several years, and I've been here several times, and I know I've seen Baptisia collections and breeding. I've seen Ericema collections and, you know, some breeding there. I've seen Lycoris. What's your favorite thing of the moment?
Oh my goodness.
What are you focused on?
It's hard to pick one.
Yeah.
We still do a lot of work with Baptisias. We've got a tremendous breeding program there. Our epimedium work is pretty incredible. Those are just coming into peak flower. The Lycorises, as you mentioned, we've got the largest Lycoris collection in the world. We've got probably the largest or the second largest Solomon seal collection, the second largest Aspidistra collection in the world. Definitely the largest Trillium collection. We have over 2,000 selected Trillium taxa. So that's been a big feature of ours, including in that 10 unnamed species. They have yet to be described. That's pretty incredible. Agaves, we've got again, probably the largest or most diverse collection of hardy agaves anywhere in the world. We're breeding yuccas. That's a big interest of ours.
Sure.
Just a lot of things going on at once. So it's hard to pick one. It's, you know, each season they rotate in. We generally don't have two at exactly the same time. So you can focus all your energies on one, and then a week later here comes another group and another group.
Well, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to you know, regale us with some stories about Plant Delights and the garden here.
We have many ways for people to follow us. Obviously, we've got Facebook. Both the gardens and the nursery each have their own Facebook. We blog from the garden every single day. You can find that at jlbg.org. And again, for the people that can't come every day, there's something with, you know, our collections right now are 27,000 taxa. There's something happening every single day, and that's what the blog allows us, is to share some of those things for people that don't live next door. The nursery, if you're interested in that they have their own newsletter. They can find that at plantdelights.com, and be glad to have you follow, and they'll show you all the cool things that are happening in the nursery.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for letting us come. If you liked this video, we've got a wide range of gardening related topics here on our channel. Home garden tours, plant showcases, tips from growers. Take a dive into our archive and be sure to click to subscribe so you can catch all of our new topics. Till next time.